Sometimes you sleep like a baby, other times, well, you can't seem to sleep at all. MTN's Donna Kelley continues her Kelley Conversation with a sleep specialist with what you should do to get a better night's sleep and a tour of the sleep lab.
How crucial is sleep?
We die without sleep. Nobody has ever survived without sleep. There's no such thing as training our body and thinking, oh, I just need to do this, and then eventually I'm going to learn how to function with 4 hours. That doesn't work. But probably on the things that are modifiable, light is one of the most important ones, like controlling light. I remember when I was a kid, our TVs used to be 20 inches, but the TVs are 50, 60, 70, 90 inches. The amount of light, blue light, that we get exposed after sunlight is huge. Minimizing that light, getting darkness, being active during the day. Don't drink coffee at 6 p.m. Trying to eat your dinner a little bit earlier. Being active, avoiding stressors, trying to balance your life, things that are more medical. Well, those are harder to control. Some of my patients are in their 20s. They might need a little bit more guidance. They're at college, university. They're trying to maybe achieve 26 or 27 hours worth of activities in a 24-hour day. That's not possible. I have some patients who retire and then all of a sudden they have a lot of free time, and then they might think, well, they want to sleep 12 hours. The frequent trips to the bathroom, I would say, planning your liquid intake, sleep apnea, breathing problems, those are quite common around here because of our altitude.
So our morning show people have to get up in the middle of the typical night, but for shift workers and for people who work a different traditional day, how do they deal with that in the best way and try to live like a regular life on the weekend?
You should keep hours that are similar, that are not that different, that you don't shift completely. Let's say working nights and then for 3 days and then working the opposite hours for another 3 days. It causes a lot of trouble, like not only at the station, firefighters, police officers, healthcare workers, anybody who is in the 24/7 industry faces that. And electrodes, this is how a sleep study works, and this is just a portion of all the things that we collect. This is, so it's a very involved test. There is a lot of connections, and the electroencephalogram or the EEG we get for the electrocardiogram, we usually have to glue all these little things to the person, and then it's hard to fall asleep.
And so does this do a printout for you during the night, or how do you read and assess that?
Sleep study has usually, as I said, 20-something channels. Then that's collected nowadays with a computer, and it generates one page every 30 seconds. So this is our control room, and this is Daniel, actually one of the sleep technicians that stays. He's the one who makes the magic happen.
Have you ever done a sleep study?
Yes, I have sleep apnea.
You do?
Yes, so I wear the CPAP. My father had it really bad. He wouldn't get it treated, and it killed his kidneys. He had hypertension so bad, he had to go on dialysis. So me being a man and not wanting to admit there's a problem, about finally when I was 40 and I was falling asleep driving the car, I went for sleep, and sure enough I had sleep apnea. So I understand the patient, what they're going through, and it makes me compassionate.
Recently we had to plan a kid that they lived around 350 miles from here. They came all the way here. The girl was tired and 5-year-old. The mom and dad tried their best, and she was nope, didn't want anything to do, and so they ended up having to go back home in the morning. And then we sent them a whole bunch of test things for her to play with it for 3-4 months, so that this will become a routine. She got used to it. This is kind of her bedtime toys almost, and when she was familiar with that, they had to do another trip down here to Bozeman, and then the second test went super well.
If you or your partner snores, how can you still get some sleep?
I mean, in the middle of the night, snoring could be quite loud and quite disruptive. I sometimes joke with my patients as well, this is going to bring happiness to you, your spouse, and the neighbors. Yet, we have options, dental treatments, there are machines that are used for snoring. If you look at what we have nowadays to treat snoring and breathing problems as to 40 years ago, we've made some progress.
In Bozeman, Donna Kelley, MTN News.
And the Centers for Disease Control lists key sleep disorders as insomnia, where you can't get to sleep or stay asleep, narcolepsy with excessive drowsiness and sleep attacks, restless leg syndrome with irritating sensations that awaken you or keep you from falling asleep, and sleep apnea, which snoring can be a sign of, and treatment depends on what's causing it. If you struggle with sleep on a chronic basis, you may need help with a sleep specialist.